Dear people, and by people I don't mean all people or most people or some people. I mean the people at people, specifically the person at people who postponed the profile previously pitched around my public persona. Should this plea find a path to that particular person, I pray they'll pity my plight, ponder my proposal, and perchance pardon my public pandering. That would be perfect. But first, some perspective. When the Discovery people first told me the people were planning a piece, I was predictably pleased. People is perfectly poised to proffer prime publicity for any program aspiring promotion, and I was predisposed to participate in whatever capacity the people preferred. However, I was not prepared for the pictures the people at people planned to procure. According to the Discovery people, the people were partial to presenting me shirtless. Though complimentary, a pictorial of my pectorals presented a PR predicament. You see, Dirty Jobs is predicated on practical participants impartially presented without pretense or pomposity. I prefer to promote the program precisely through that paradigm, preserving in the process its proletarian personality, and my own pedestrian personage. In my opinion, the prospect of primping and preening in a powder room perpetuates the opposite perception, especially among persons predisposed to peruse a publication as eponymous and polyglot as people. Anyway, I expressed my preference for a less provocative pose to the Discovery people. They passed my predilection on to the people, who promptly replied that preserving my pecs for posterity was in fact a priority for that particular profile. But when the Discovery people parlayed the person at people's preference, they implied in the process a possible perception of prudishness on my part. Preposterous. When it comes to probable probity, I possess no penchant for prudery and no pretext of propriety. I simply preferred to perpetuate the premise of the program I pledged to promote by posing in a less predictable place. But it was too late. The people not only punted on their prior proposition, they pulled the plug on the complete profile. Worse, I was pointedly apprised by the Discovery people that the people were probably perturbed because Mike and his people were too pertinacious. That was perplexing, partly because I have no people, per se, and no prior correspondence or personal proximity to any of the people at people. Regardless, leaving a preeminent periodical with a poor impression is patently pea-brained. So I prodded the Discovery people to put me in personal touch with the people, so I could propitiate, or perhaps pacify the person on point. However, the Discovery people preferred to protect the privacy of the people, preventing me from proffering a personal apology and prompting me to post this public appeal, which propels me to proclaim my primary point. I'm ready to get naked for you. Consider this a belated olive branch, or a fig leaf if you prefer. I'm a person who needs people. More to the point, Dirty Jobs is a show that deserves a bigger audience, and if we'd been allowed to speak directly, I'm sure we could have found a way to satisfy your editorial requirements and my need for non-negative notoriety. In other words, if you'll pardon my prior proclivities and reappraise the potential for a personal profile, I promise to respond promptly and present myself in whatever place you prefer, in whatever wardrobe you want. All I ask is that you mention the foundation that's grown out of Dirty Jobs. It's called Micro Works, and we award work ethic scholarships to kids who are willing to learn a trade and work their butts off. How sexy is that? Anyway, I'm standing by and happy to meet in the shower stall or bathhouse of your choosing, camera ready. Though in the interest of full disclosure, the holidays were indulgent, and if you want the full Monty, your photographer will need a wide-angle lens. Sincerely, Micro, as read by a genuine English person.